We start off with the Zim Mining Index, which has been a sterling performer over the last week, gaining 5.6 points to close today at 222.4. The Zim Industrial Index, also a gainer in dollar terms over the last week, but this week, not quite the trend, a loss of 38 points, coming in at 161.4. Joining us now on the line with the latest news on the market is Christopher Masendeke, who's an investment analyst at Southern Trust Securities. Christopher, nice to have you. We saw last week in dollar terms improvements in both the industrial and the mining index. This week, only the mining index gaining. What do you attribute that to?
I would say for this week, we opened Monday as the last trading day of the month, of which no investors wanted exposure on the last day. But we've seen volumes improving today, buoyed by volumes in Econet and strong demand for heavyweights, while minings are still strong given demand in Wange and Rio.
All right, let's talk about the good performing stocks, because what we are seeing is that some of the heavyweights like Econet, for instance, Inscore, continue to dominate the market. Some foreigners in the market as well. Explain the phenomenon.
True. We can even safely term them growth stocks, of which they are expected to post strong earnings for the full year ending 31st December or March 2011. We also expect dividend payouts. And these companies, they are cash rich. They are also, they've managed to turn around their operations successfully since dollarization.
All right, let's talk about a rights issue, MedTech. Their results to be released or have been released as well in the last few days. Tell us more about the MedTech rights issue, because some people are concerned that, you know, as companies try to expand, raise money, they're going to struggle because they're just liquidity issues on the Zim market.
True. This, like you see with the MedTech rights issue, only 19.48% was taken up, while about 80% was taken up by the underwriter, of which we attribute it to the quality of the assets that are being that are raising capital. For Meditech, you find the bulk of it was going into debt redemption, and the half of it was also going to working capital. But you find the local market is still constrained by liquidity conditions. Of which you find even going forward, capital raising exercises might not be fully subscribed as well.
Okay, what are we likely to see in other sectors, in the industrials, chemicals, manufacturers, and the agricultural sector, which has done particularly well in the last 2 quarters or so?
You find there is strong demand for agro-based stocks, and some manufacturers like the likes of TSL is doing quite well. But you find demand is confined to certain sectors, while it is also limited in certain sectors, of which that trend is likely to hold in our market.
Okay, Christopher, let's talk about news out, and that's the fact that the China Development Bank is looking to make a major investment in Zimbabwe's mining and agricultural sector. In particular, they're talking about $10 billion, which is much more than the value of the entire Zimbabwean economy at the moment. Has the market responded to those prospects in any way?
We can't safely say the market has responded to such news. Coincidentally, the same sectors which have been pointed out, which are mining and agriculture, have been recovery sectors since then. But like the minister said, it is only China's intention to invest in Zimbabwe. But we can safely say that it will bolster investment in the mining and the agro sectors when the money comes through Zimbabwe.
Expectations for the industrial sector, I mean, there's talk of potential new listings, FDI coming through from major banks, for instance. We know that a company like Rio Zim, which is a major player, has just been awarded a license to build a coal-fired power station. So there's a lot of activity going through. What do you expect to see in this particular industry going forward?
True, there is demand in the mining sector and other resource sectors. But our major constraint in such industries now is the cash that is wanted. If you can take, for example, Rio has been planning to raise 40 million since dollarization, either via joint ventures or rights issue, but it hasn't managed to raise that capital to expunge its debt for working capital and capital expenditures. Therefore, you find that as long as there isn't enough funding in such sectors, nothing much will kickstart.